Pictured. Las Vegas bomber who blew up Cybertruck outside Trump Hotel as cops say he served at the same military base as New Orleans mass killer Jabbar. The bomber who blew up a Tesla Cybertruck outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas has been identified as Army veteran Matthew Livelsberger. Although officers have not publicly named Livelsberger, 37, as the bomber, senior law enforcement sources confirmed his identity to KOAA and KTNV. Livelsberger served over 19 years in the Army, 18 of which were spent with Special Forces, according to his LinkedIn profile. His current role was listed as a remote and autonomous systems manager, which he had been in for just 3 months. A Colorado townhome associated with Livelsberger was raided by the FBI late Wednesday night. Agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were brought in to assist. The suspected bomber was raised in Colorado Springs and has reportedly been linked to several addresses in the city, included the one searched by investigators. He is suspected of renting the Elon Musk-owned Cybertruck in Colorado Springs via the Turo app and driving it across the border to Nevada on Wednesday morning, stopping at various charging stations along the route. Law enforcement sources revealed that Livelsberger, who died Wednesday in the explosion outside the hotel, had previously served at the same military base as New Orleans terrorist Shamsuddin Jabbar. Jabbar, who had allegedly pledged himself to the Islamic State, rammed a pickup truck, which bore the ISIS flag, into a crowd of New Year revelers, killing at least 15 people and wounding dozens. The FBI has said it does not think Jabbar, 42, was solely responsible for the Bourbon Street attack. Authorities are conducting a number of court-authorized search warrants in New Orleans and other states and investigating his potential associations and affiliations with terroristic organizations. In a press conference, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Sheriff Kevin McMahill said the Cybertruck arrived in Las Vegas at 7:30 a.m. The explosion took place at 8:40 a.m. in the hotel's valet area. Surveillance footage showed the truck sitting outside the front entrance. Seconds later, the entire $80,000 car blew up in a fiery blaze, with its roof going up in flames first. Debris smoked as it pinged off the pavement, and sparks which looked like fireworks could be seen lighting up the black cloud of smoke emitting from the vehicle. A tumble of charred fireworks mortars, canisters, and other explosive devices were found crowded into the back of the pickup. Officials are still exploring how the explosives were detonated, but sources with knowledge of the investigation have expressed that it was likely controlled by the driver. Livelsberger was the sole fatality in the attack, and authorities largely credit Musk's hulking truck with preventing further damage because it was able to contain much of the explosion. According to the KOA, law enforcement officers wearing tactical gear and traveling in armored vehicles arrived at one of Livelsberger's Colorado Springs properties Wednesday night. Neighbors were escorted away from the townhome complex in the Stetson Hills neighborhood as investigators carried out their search. Police have assured the public they do not suspect there is any ongoing threat to the community. Hours before the attack in Las Vegas, Jabbar drove an electric vehicle into crowds in New Orleans, killing 15 pedestrians and injuring dozens more. Law enforcement sources have since revealed the cars used in both attacks were rented through Turo, and they were both EVs, prompting concerns they are linked. Police revealed on Wednesday afternoon that they are currently investigating potential links and have not ruled anything out yet. "Do I think it's a coincidence? I don't know," Sheriff Kevin McMahill said. "We're absolutely looking into any connections to New Orleans." A spokesperson for Turo later issued a statement describing the company's heartbreak by the violence perpetrated in New Orleans and Las Vegas, and "our prayers are with the victims and families. We are actively partnering with law enforcement authorities as they investigate both incidents. We do not believe that either renter involved in the Las Vegas and New Orleans attacks had a criminal background that would have identified them as a security threat." Turo added, "We remain committed to maintaining the highest standards in risk management, thanks to our world-class trust and safety technologies and teams that include experienced former law enforcement professionals." Officers have also considered that Jabbar may have purposefully chosen to use a car owned by Elon Musk to send a message, given the Tesla billionaire's newfound friendship with President-elect Donald Trump. "It's a Tesla truck. We know Elon Musk is working with President-elect Trump, and it's the Trump hodl. So there's obviously something to look at," McMahill said. By Wednesday afternoon, Musk revealed the explosion was caused by a bomb carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck, or very large fireworks. He said the explosion was not caused by or related to the vehicle itself, and it's understood the unnamed driver had rented the truck using Turo. Law enforcement currently believes it was most likely intentional, he added. Both the Cybertruck and the F-150 suicide bomb in New Orleans were rented from Turo. Perhaps they are linked in some way. Musk said Tesla vehicles transmit their state of health continuously, meaning his team were able to check whether anything was wrong with the car's mechanics prior to the explosion. McMahill thanked Musk for his efforts in assisting the investigation, turning over data to authorities along with access to CCTV from Tesla charging stations across the nation. Trump has also broken his silence on the explosion outside his Las Vegas hotel, vowing to rid America of violent scum. The president-elect took to his social media platform, Truth Social, to excoriate the security and justice establishment. He wrote in a post, "Our country is a disaster, a laughingstock all over the world. This is what happens when you have open borders with weak, ineffective, and virtually non-existent leadership. The DOJ, FBI, and Democrat state and local prosecutors have not done their job. They are incompetent and corrupt, having spent all of their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from the outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. The CIA must get involved now before it is too late. The USA is breaking down. A violent erosion of safety, national security, and democracy is taking place all across our nation. Only strength and powerful leadership will stop it. See you on January 20th. Make America great again." Jabbar drove the rented electric vehicle into a crowd on Bourbon Street, killing 15 pedestrians and injuring dozens more as they celebrated the new year. The Texan-born terrorist had an ISIS flag draped on the back of the vehicle when he drove into the crowds. Jabbar, a deranged U.S. veteran, got out of his car and started firing a weapon. Investigators later added that they found what appeared to be improvised explosives at the crash site that did not detonate. McMahill said, "With the event that occurred in New Orleans, and the victims there, and the additional IEDs, so as you can imagine, with an explosion here on our iconic Las Vegas Boulevard, we are taking all of the precautions that we need to take to keep the community safe." Guns and pipe bombs were also located inside the truck, according to a Louisiana State Police intelligence bulletin obtained by the Associated Press. The devices were contained in coolers and wire for remote detonation. A remote control was also discovered inside the vehicle, the bulletin detailed. Further potential explosive devices were also found in the French Quarter. "We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible," Alethea Duncan, an assistant special agent with the FBI's New Orleans field office, said at a news conference Wednesday. "We're aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates." Law enforcement officials began searching a residence in Houston, Texas on Wednesday that they believe could be connected to Jabbar. FBI Houston and the Harris County Sheriff's Office are continuing a court-authorized search of a location near the intersection of Hugh Road and Crescent Peak Drive, the agency said in a statement. As of Wednesday night, no arrests had been made at the residence. Authorities previously revealed that the rented truck was listed on Turo by a 42-year-old man who lives in Houston, who has been contacted by investigators. It is unclear if the Houston property that was searched Wednesday night was linked to this man. The FBI's New Orleans field office is also conducting a number of court-authorized search warrants in New Orleans and other states. Jabbar was killed by police after he slammed a truck into pedestrians celebrating the new year, exited the vehicle, and started firing. Investigators recovered a handgun and an AR-style rifle after the shootout, law enforcement officials said. Investigators are probing a theory Jabbar rented a nearby property on Airbnb in St. Roch for his base before carrying out the attack. Exclusive DailyMail.com photographs show the moment the FBI removed bomb-making materials from the two-bedroom and two-bathroom property close to the French Quarter. Jabbar is also said to have made a series of videos that are being reviewed by law enforcement. Authorities believe that the videos were made as he drove from Texas to Louisiana, although the timing is unclear. Multiple officials told CNN that the recordings appear to have been made while driving at night and the suspect is not visible in them. CNN reported that the recordings make reference to his divorce and that he planned on gathering his family together for a fake celebration so he could kill them. The suspect is also said to have talked about how he joined ISIS and spoke of dreams that he had about joining the terrorist group. There were no overt links to ISIS in the Las Vegas attack as there were in New Orleans, but detectives have not ruled out any motive. Jabbar worked for white-collar Deloitte as a business developer and data engineer after working in real estate at Blue Meadow Properties. He had a bachelor's degree from Georgia State University and used to work for the U.S. Army. Jabbar worked as a human resources specialist and an information technology specialist during his decade-long tenure in the armed forces. He joined the Army in 2007, serving on active duty in human resources and information technology, the service confirmed. He was deployed to Afghanistan from 2009 to 2010 and transferred to the Army Reserve in 2015. Jabbar left in 2020 with the rank of Staff Sergeant. We believe he was honorably discharged, but we are working through this process, figuring out all this information, said FBI Assistant Special Agent in Charge Alethea Duncan. The suspect's love life was scattered, having been married twice. His first marriage ended in 2012 and his second in 2022. His second wife's new husband, Dwayne Marsh, said Jabbar had begun to convert to Islam within the last year and was being all crazy, reported the New York Times. Marsh said Jabbar had 2 daughters, one a teenager and one a young adult, and that they were a mess after the attack. The terrorist, who was shot dead in the bloody scene on New Year's Day, also had a criminal history, including being charged with misdemeanor theft in 2002 and for driving without a valid license in 2005. A motive for the heinous crime of killing at least 15 people has not been revealed.